would hope that would get their attention.
You would think. I mean, like, I was listening to John's show when they had Steve Terry on, and Steve's a season ticket holder down front, right?
Yeah.
And he's seeing commercials of buy one, get one free tickets and 30% off. And like, if the Wild pulled that crap, like the season ticket holders, we're not getting that deal.
Right.
Like, we've already bought our tickets. They already have our money. And it's like, where's my 30% back? You know,
right.
And I can't believe how they're going to fix that part of it.
Right.
Right. Because you're going to have people that are just literally like, all right, my $10,000 that I just paid for 5 lower level seats, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, or why would a company do it? I guess maybe the companies do it for the entertainment, and, you know, I get that side of it, but I just don't see, like, they have a lot of mending of the fences to do, and it might take just a season and then fire Tibbs and try and move on from it. But
I guess I don't know. Do NBA coaches get fired midseason?
I don't follow it closely enough to know for sure, but I think Miami fired when they had LeBron and Dwayne Wade and all that. They fired a guy midseason, but I mean, I think there was a different situation, you know. But
was that
Spoelstra?
Yeah.
And I think the theme here, LeBron did it in Cleveland too. That Brown guy, what was his name? I forget. But again, you know, I think that was different reasons. Like, they were a 4 seed. They should have been the 1 seed, and they fired him because they wanted to win a title, right? So I don't know if you fire him midseason and have Ryan Saunders be your interim and just kind of go. But at what point does Taylor start doing that? Is if they lose 8 of the next 10 after the trade?
Well,
do you start to see, hey, there's a common denominator here, or do we just say, you know what, punt? Like,
yeah, but why hasn't he done it already? Like, why he's been too laissez-faire for my taste to this point as it is.
Yeah. It's beyond me why he hasn't done it. So I don't know what it would take for it to happen. Maybe they'd have to go 0 for the next 20 for it to happen. Who knows?
Good Lord. Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, it's ludicrous that it hasn't been done yet. I don't see any other reason why you keep him around.
I don't know why we're protecting a guy who lost the room is 4-9 or whatever they are. You know, I
supposedly delayed the trade because he thought that he could talk Butler into staying.
Right.
Why he wanted that, but he thought he could talk him into staying. So then we get, you know, a couple of role players.
Now, I want to run this by you because Lonnie and I talked about it a little bit last episode. But, you know, one of the other things here that isn't really getting talked about is that, although I think Jim and John did talk about it a little bit, is that the reality is that Cat and Wiggins haven't really stepped up here.
Right.
Now it's a bad situation, granted, right? But they have had an opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to take this team on our shoulders, and we're going to choose to rise above this, and we're going to be amazing. And they really haven't, which is kind of what, you know, Jimmy was theoretically complaining about, and what made him want out was not believing that these guys had it at this point, or we're not ready, or whatever.
Well, at what point, like, if he freaks out in practice and all this crap, does somebody not step up and say, shut your effing mouth?
Yeah, just punch him in the face. Like you're done.
Then leave. Then go.
This is my team.
Goodbye.
Get out of here. Yeah.
You're gone.
Right.
And look at Layden and Tibbs and say, listen, he's either gone or the rest of us aren't playing.
Right.
Like,
instead,
get out of here.
They let him beat him with the third stringers, right? In that practice. And they just, so that's the thing. I mean, like, so does that make you worried though? I mean, in a post Butler world now, and a maybe post Tibbs world eventually, hopefully, does that make you worried about, you know, our Cat and Wiggins, the T-Wolves versions of Sano and Buxton at this point?
I haven't really thought about it to that extent, but I mean, why wouldn't you worry about that? And honestly, it's almost like just trade one of them. Go get this Zion kid from Duke. Hope you win the lottery, and go get that man-child that looks like LeBron's playing in college. Yeah, and see what happens there. But I don't know. Then Duke players are never very good in the NBA, but whatever.
Christian Leonard. Yeah. All right. It is such a fascinating situation. It is just a mind-blowing situation You've got failure from the top down, pretty much all the way through the organization at this point, and that's just absolutely astounding. But it all kind of feels like they all think they've got the clothes on, and none of them have the clothes on. The leadership guys, it's unbelievable.
Right. I think the happiest people in town are the Wild.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Wild tickets have to be going at an absolute premium now relative to where they should be, given the fact that the seasons are both playing at this point.
Yeah.
And I called, this is petty and immature, but I would like Jimmy Butler to break his ankle in the first game with the Sixers and have to miss the rest of the season.
I would not feel bad if that happened. Not at all.
And then maybe for it to become gangrenous, and then he have to miss the rest of his career.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Get it. Especially for somebody that came from like where he came from, like small college, all that kind of stuff, right? And
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's trot on over to some Minnesota goodbyes. It's been a good show. Good catching up with you, Tony. What do you got for me as far as Minnesota goodbye?
I don't really have much there tonight on Minnesota goodbye. More positive notes though. Lindsay Whalen sold out the barn her first night, so that's exciting. They actually, I think, sold more tickets than the football team sold for Saturday's game. Granted, it was 10 degrees and they were coming off a shellacking from Illinois, but yeah, it was. So kudos to the women's basketball squad and Lindsay Whalen being back in maroon and gold.
Awesome. Well said. I don't have a negative Minnesota goodbye either, but I will say that right now, looking down the Western Conference of the NHL, the Minnesota Wild not only is in second place in the division, but has the second highest biggest goals differential in the conference at this point at a +10.
Jesus.
Nashville is a +21, which is absurd because they played one fewer game than the Wild. But the Wild is now a +10, second place in the West, and that +10 would put them, behind 1, 2, 3 teams total. So they've got the fourth best plus goals differential in the league right now, which is not something that I saw coming after the fifth game of this, 5 games into the season.
Yeah, good heavens. It's exciting to be a Wild fan.
Yeah,
I just wish a little bit.
I just wish it was March.
Right. April and May, hopefully they're still playing this well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully we get to May. If we get to May, we'll all be happy.
Exactly. All right, thanks for listening to this and all the episodes of The Fan Show, which you can find at talknorth.com. For Brandon and Tony, this is Nick. We will be back with you again soon.